Hello students. Right now we are on chapter number 3, a pair of linear equations in two variables. Up to this we have seen two different methods to find the solution of the given pair of linear equations. One, substitution method, and the second, elimination method. Now in this part we will learn the third method to find the solution of a pair of linear equation in two variables. The method is known as cross multiplication method. To apply this method, we need to follow some simple steps. Let's have step number 1. To start cross multiplication method, it is necessary to write the given pair of linear equations in ax plus by plus c form. So the first step, whatever the type of equations you are having, just by using simplification or maybe using transposition, you have to write the given equations in a1x plus b1y plus c1 equals to 0 form. Same the second one as a2x plus b2y plus c2 equals to 0 form. Then to obtain the values of x and y, we need to move forward for step 2. In step 2, we have to make three different ratios as shown below. Ratios are x upon something, then y upon something, and then 1 upon something. Equals to signs are there in between the ratios. Now what we have to write in the denominator part of each and every ratio. The thing you need to learn here, the thing you have to remember here. Now below x, you have to write the coefficients of y variable and the constant ones. How to actually write? In the step when you have written the two equations, just hide the part of the x variable. Then you will be having b1 c1 and b2 c2 in order. That's what you have to write in the denominator of x ratio. Similarly, hide the y variable in the written equations in step 1. You will be having a1 a2 c1 c2. Now this is what you have to remember. Below y, in the denominator portion, you have to write c1 c2 and then a1 a2. You can see just in step 2 what we have written below the y ratio. Then upon 1, just we have to hide the constant part, that is c1 and c2 you need to hide. Whatever the left part is there, the coefficients you have to write only a1 b1 and a2 b2. So this is what step number 2. Now in step 3, as the name suggests, cross multiplication method. Now the name comes in. We have to cross multiply the denominator part, and we have to subtract the results as well. Look at the picture. Step 3, just below x, we have b1 c1 and b2 c2. The arrows you can see, we have to multiply b1 with c2 and b2 with c1, and we have to put the subtraction sign in between. The similar concept applied in the y ratio also. You can see y upon what we have written, c1 into a2 first, and then the subtraction sign, then c2 into a1. Then in the constant ratio also you can check a1 b2 minus a2 b1 we have written in the denominator space. Now then, step number 4. After the simplification, you will be having a number left in the denominator's place in each ratio. So you will be having x upon something. After the multiplication and subtraction, the number left will be, we are assuming here the number is d there. We are assuming e in the y ratio, and we are assuming f in the constant ratio. So after step number 4, you will be having x upon something, y upon something equals to 1 upon something. Now then, last step, after the completion of the fourth step, we need to compare the variable ratios with the constant ratio. You know, two variable ratios are there, x upon d and y upon e. We need to compare them with the constant ratio 1 upon f. So we are comparing x upon d equals to 1 upon f, and also we are comparing y upon e equals to 1 upon f here. So by using just transposition rules, we can get the values of x and y. You can see in the picture, we have actually moved d towards the other side. So we are getting the answer of x. Similarly, we are getting the answer of y by moving e to the other side of the is equals to sign. I am hoping here that you have understood the 5 steps to get the answer of a pair of linear equations using cross multiplication method. Now, to recall the steps, let's have one example for this. Now, let's have one example and try to find the solution of it using the cross multiplication method. The two equations given, 5x plus 3y equals to 35 and 2x plus 4y equals to 28. As you know, step number 1, we have to write the given equations in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So we are writing the first equation as 5x plus 3y minus 35 equals to 0, and the second one 2x plus 4y minus 28 equals to 0. Hopefully step 1 is very much clear. Now step number 2, the formation of three ratios, the x ratio, y ratio and the constant ratio. Upon x, what we have to write? I have told you earlier, just hide the x part from the equations you have written in step 1. You will be having 3 minus 35, 4 and minus 28. That's what you have to write below x. What below y you have to write? Hide the y portion. Then you will be having 5 minus 35, 2 and minus 28. But remember how to write the constant part first over here. This is what very much important part for step number 2. Minus 35 and 5, then minus 28 and 2. Below 1, just we have to hide the constant part. Whatever the coefficients you can see, then 5, 3, 2 and 4 you have to write below it. Now the simplification. How to simplify? Cross multiply and put subtraction sign in between. So below x we are doing 3 into minus 28 gives us minus 84, and 4 into minus 35, that is minus 140. In between these two results we are putting subtraction sign. So it is minus 84 minus minus 140. Now then, below y we are applying the same cross multiplication method and putting the subtraction sign in between the two results. We are getting minus 70 minus minus 140. Similar in the third ratio, 1 upon 5 fours are 20 minus 2 threes are, that is 6. Step number 4, the simplification. After the end of the step 4, you know that we will live with x upon one number equals to y upon one number equals to 1 upon one number. So we are getting x upon 56 equals to y upon 70 and 1 upon 14. Now it's time to have the last step. We need to compare the variable ratio with the constant ratio. So we are comparing x upon 56 with 1 upon 14 and y upon 70 with also 1 upon 14. So using the transposition, we can write x equals to 56 upon 14. Then we are getting the answer of x equals to 4. Similarly for y, using the transposition, we are getting the answer 5. So the final answer of this particular sum is 4, 5, whereas the first one is the x coordinate value and the second one is y coordinate value. Hoping you are now very much clear with the concept of cross multiplication method. Now, as you know, practice is only the way to master any method of mathematics. Here, I am giving you 4 practice sums. The sums are taken just from your textbook exercise number 3.5. So these are the practice sums you need to solve using cross multiplication method. In the third sum, the hint is given and you can check your answers after the completion of it. All the best, students.